Hi, I'm Sarah Acton, Chief Customer Officer at Bill, and I want to welcome you to episode 5 of Coffee with Bill. I am thrilled to be joined by Courtney Spritzer. She is co-founder of Entreprenista and CEO of Socialfly. Courtney, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be talking to you today. I've been a longtime customer of Bill and a big fan.
Well, thank you. We are big fans of yours, and having two amazing businesses under your portfolio means you're incredibly busy. So I'm even more grateful that you are giving us a little opportunity to chat with you and learn from you. And maybe with that, let's start with folks in the audience may not know about Socialfly and Entreprenista. So give us a little 101.
Yeah, so Socialfly is the first company that I started a little over 12 years ago with my business partner, Stephanie. And it started as a social media marketing agency and it evolved to a full service marketing agency. When we started the company back in 2012, we were one of very few social media agencies and we evolved as social evolved. So quickly we added on services like influencer marketing and media buying and full creative services. We have a studio in New York City and we have worked with hundreds of clients. And Entreprenista is a company that focuses on helping women entrepreneurs. We have over 2,000 members, and we also work with some really great partners to help bring really great experiences to women entrepreneurs and give them all the tools and resources they need to grow and scale their business.
I love both of those stories of innovation, stories of problem solving. So I'm curious for you, you started your career in corporate finance. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe how that shaped what you went on to do with these two organizations?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. So that is what I saw growing up. I was the product of small business owners. And when I went to college, I thought, okay, I want to go into corporate America. I want to do the opposite of what my family did. And I went into finance. Graduated from NYU and ended up working in corporate finance. And that's when I met my business partner, Stephanie. We were friends. We bonded over our love of social media, and we decided to start a business on the side of our job. So it did start as a side hustle. And then eventually we quit our jobs on the same day to really focus on growing Socialfly.
I know that Socialfly recently got acquired, which is amazing. Congratulations! You talked about after the acquisition having access to more resources, a larger team, but I'm sure that there were times where like your resourcefulness and your resiliency early on were really important. When I say those words to you, resourcefulness and resiliency, are there any moments that come to mind where you guys maybe had to dig deep?
All the time, I would say I'm still very resourceful and resilient. You really have to be in entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship is going to challenge you, or at least it has in my experience every single day. So if you're not a resilient person, then entrepreneurship probably isn't for you. And that is okay. I think that's a big challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs have is a lot of times, especially if your business is on the up and up, you have a lot of opportunities being thrown at you, and it can be hard to focus because everything is really exciting and everything sounds like it's a really great opportunity, but it really is very important to always be focused on uh, fewer things and not trying to do everything. And in order to do that, you have to get crystal clear on what your goals are and break those down by quarterly goals and give yourself look at all the different opportunities that you have and really look at what needs to be done now and what can be pushed out, what moves the needle, what doesn't. And I often recommend to entrepreneurs that they get advisors or find mentors to be thought partners with them to really help them understand how to prioritize their time. One of the things that I did, and I still do, but but it really came in handy in the early days. Is every quarter I would write down every single thing that I was doing, and then I would look at that list and say, okay, what can I hire someone to do, delegate to someone else? What does it make sense for me to do anymore? So that I can focus my time on what's going to add the most value to the business. And actually, that's how we ended up working with Bill, because at one point I was literally handwriting tons of checks. I think this was in 2014, 2015, and I didn't even know there was a different way to make payments to people. So very happy that I found this solution.
Well, we're thrilled that we were able to give you some time back in your day. It is one of the things that we hear a lot. So that is amazing to hear. And speaking of, so it it sounds like you sort of found us, thankfully, found Bill early in your journey. Maybe talking a little bit about what you look for in trusted partners, and how maybe any advice that you would give to other entrepreneurs based on what you've learned about what make for good partners and solutions as you're growing.
I always ask for references. So if I'm looking for a new partner, a new solution, I go to my network of entrepreneurs and say, looking for whatever it is that I'm looking for. It could be a lawyer, an accountant, someone to help with, anything in running the business. See who they recommend. Or if my network is not telling me or giving me a good recommendation, of course I'll always go to handy dandy Google, and if I'm reaching out to a vendor that way or finding a vendor through someone I don't know, then I always ask for references or examples of work, case studies to give me the confidence that this is the right decision to make.
Very smart. And I think the tapping of our networks, like the networks that we build over our careers and our businesses, are a treasure trove of information, both for partners, and also to your point earlier about how to prioritize, like having a trusted advisor who's a sounding board, is great advice. As you think about how you've grown and scaled, both Socialfly, but also Entreprenista. How has your approach to technology changed, if at all?
I would say it hasn't changed too much in the last few years, but it definitely, in the beginning, choosing the right tools, to your point earlier, does give you a lot of time back in the day. So now we have a project management tool. We have, of course, our accounting software. We have Bill. We have lots of different tools. And I'm actually auditing those tools all the time to make sure we're using them and have the right ones, because you do need new tools as you grow. But I would say our tech stack has really remained the same across both companies over the last year. And then the only other thing I would say that we are looking into is new AI tools and kind of dabbling there.
Yeah, and it's so smart, to um, be reevaluating your technology tools to just make sure that they're still serving you, and serving your business and serving your customers. You talked a little bit about AI, and how you're thinking about using AI as part of your business, which I'm sure is super exciting for you and exciting for all of us. Are there other things? I'm sure there are. Are there other things that you're excited about that are on the horizon for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of really exciting things across both companies. On the social fly side, really excited for the work that we're doing with clients. We're working with some of the biggest brands in the world, and I love seeing what the team is doing. And then on the entreprenista side, we are helping thousands of women grow and scale their businesses and making meaningful connections and getting to see all the members partner together to do some really incredible things. So really excited to see our members grow their businesses together and collaborate.
It's amazing. It's kind of like you're on two ends of the spectrum. You know, you've got people who, through Entreprenista, who are, at the beginning of their journey, and then these amazing big brands that you're working with. Courtney, as you've built Socialfly and Entreprenista, can you talk a little bit about each of those phases of growth and how you thought about building at those different moments in time?
Yes, that's a really great question. There are so many different phases of business building. In the early days of Socialfly, we didn't have a formal business plan. The plan was, how do we sign up enough clients to be able to replace our salaries at our corporate job? That was the goal. That was the mission. And then once we achieved that goal, it was time to hire employees. So what we did at that time and what we still do is go to people that have done it before and ask. And that is one of the reasons why we created the Entreprenista League, because it has everything we wish we had when we first started our business. And it's even helpful for any entrepreneur in the very later stages of business, because it gives them an opportunity to get fresh perspectives from the community and see the new tools that people are using. And it's just also a way for us to all help each other. But in the early days, and really at every stage, it's about knowing who to go to for advice and building your network and getting that advice. And there's this saying that is, hopefully I don't botch it, is what got you here won't get you there. So you're constantly having to switch things up, switch up your tech stack at different stages of business. So for us, we went to our network to figure out how to hire our first employee, because that was, a big milestone for us. Then once we got to, I think it was over 20 employees, I was like, how do you set up HR and how do you handle that process and health insurance and setting up a 401k? And then there's, how do you overhaul how you handle finances and who's going to be responsible for that? So really at all of those stages, with every business challenge, every milestone you hit, what has helped us is having a network of people to go to for advice who's done it, who has been there and done it before.
I love that. I love that. And I think you're right. The what I think everybody hopes for in a growth journey is there are constantly new milestones. Like there are constantly new things to learn. And so I think, that resourcefulness and resiliency that we talked about, like it needs to be a deep well to fuel you through the journey. Courtney, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for joining us. And most of all, thank you for being a customer. It is part of what fuels us is knowing that we play a small role in helping fuel your mission, both at Socialfly and Entreprenista. So thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.